right, welcome into the rundown here on a Wednesday. I apologize that I am running late today. I had shit to do. I'm sorry about that. We'll run through some headlines. We'll talk about some games this weekend. All of that here on the show today on the Carolina Jackpot channel. As always, thanks to Jackpot for being the host or letting me host my show here. The show that was once on Fox Sports Radio here in Columbia, South Carolina. Now it's here on the Carolina Jackpot channel. Clemson football kickoff. What's up, Rob? Hey, what's up there, Biscuit? People starting to pour in. Francine's about to make landfall. A quick moment of a silence for our folks down in the Louisiana area as they are dealing with some silliness. Let's just hope everybody comes out of it all right. And Francine is a hoe. I don't know what else to say about that. Tip the hat to you there a little bit. Hopefully you guys will pull through and everything will be good because it is a mess. That's all I can say about that. All right, so what else do we have today? It says about 6 o'clock. Kentucky Blue Ball says he's taking Georgia to win and to cover. All right. Biscuits is heading to 30A in 3 days. I don't know what that means, sir. Talk to me on that. Yeah, Dion's missing toe, something like that. Hopefully this isn't anything that's bad. I don't want to belittle any weather situation because it can be a mess. Let's just leave it at that. All right. But in the end, Seacrest Beach, Rosemary. All right. Well, hopefully that'll work out there for you. But it's, man, I remember as a kid living through Hurricane Hugo, and that was a mess. And I got nothing. I got nothing. All right, so I'm going to put the link out there if you guys want to join. We can talk about whatever game you want. We'll look at some of the early games here coming up on Thursday as we roll along here on the rundown today. Let's see here. Let's look at it. We have your Thursday games include Arizona State at Texas State. The Arizona State is a 1.5 point favorite on the road against Texas State. Okay. So people are probably going to bet their money big time on Arizona State just because they've never heard of Texas State. But we shall see. Your other game, for those that give a shit, and it'll just be the gamblers that'll care about this one. Northwestern State. Anybody want to take a guess at their mascot? Jackpot and I joke like the Mazodcast, possible Bearcats, against South Alabama. 2-0-2 teams, where ESPN says you can get a ticket for as low as $8. What a mess. All right, you got UNLV and Kansas on Friday. That game is being played at Children's Mercy Park in Kansas City, Kansas. Also, here's an interesting game. You've got Arizona and Kansas State. Interesting matchup there. 20th ranked team in the country going on the road to the 14th ranked Wildcats up there in Manhattan, Kansas. Kansas State is a 7.5 point favorite at home. All right. So, yeah, anybody jacked for those games? I'll probably watch the Kansas game. I might bet on that. We talked about something yesterday. I just wanted to come back on for just a quick second here. Clemson does not play at NC State this weekend. Clemson is off this weekend. Clemson's guaranteed a win against the bye. So we talked about Tyreek Hill yesterday and the whole thing with him and the cops pulling him out of the car and everything else. I it's hard for me to feel sorry for Tyreek Hill when the guy had been accused of so much. He lost custody of his son in 2019, according to reports from the Kansas City Star. Authorities in Kansas City chose not to file charges after a police report was filed on March 19. Despite not filing charges, they did investigate allegations of battery against the child, who was 3 at the time. Allegedly, he had broken this kid's arm. So, for me personally, for everyone that's trying to be a social justice warrior here, and I don't like talking politics on the show, but you know what? There's been a lot of shit that Tyreek Hill has done in his existence where he wasn't exactly a good person. And if he got roughed up by the police, fuck him. There you go with that. He's been an asshole for a long time, and karma finally got him. And you know what? It's not something that hurt his fucking feelings even. He got off and went and scored a touchdown in an NFL game hours later and mocked the police. So forgive me for not feeling sorry for this fucking idiot. Yes, cops shouldn't beat the hell out of people. Yeah, you shouldn't do that. Did the cops completely act the way they were supposed to? I don't know. I'm not a judge. They will judge him eventually, those cops eventually, and if those cops did wrong, then guess what? The cops will be taken care of. But I don't feel sorry for Tyreek Hill. He allegedly broke his kid's arm, so he can go fuck himself. Sorry. I've had that weighing on me since yesterday because someone asked about it, and that's just the way that I feel. I agree with what Billy Cole over there said about do what the cops tell you and you'll be fine. Yeah, I mean, that's fine too. I don't know if the cops did everything correct, but maybe I just don't like Tyreek Hill. Maybe that has something to do with it. It's just a mess. In December of 2014, Tyreek Hill choked and punched Espanol, who was carrying their son at the time. So this is the baby's mama. He pled guilty to domestic assault and battery by strangulation and was dismissed from Oklahoma State. Kevin says, y'all just like seeing brothers get beat. No, that's not true. That's not true. I don't want to see anybody get their ass beat. I didn't want to see his baby mama get punched and choked either. I didn't want to see that. But we had to deal with that. I don't know. Maybe it's just the way that I feel, and maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, someone asked about Big Barney Ross likes South Alabama to win. Clemson football kickoff says, you think FSU has a win by the time Clemson goes to Tallahassee? I don't know. Oh, okay, so Kevin, thank you. Thought you were mocking me there, brother. I apologize. Peg and Megan says he's living in the country, in the only country in the world that would make a guy like him a multi-millionaire. Yeah. Okay, that's true. I don't know. I felt really weird about that, and I thought I needed to bring that to cleanse my head here, to be honest with you. But someone says I'm a bootlicker. Okay, bootlicker. I don't know what that means. Justifying police malpractice on not doing what you're told is BS. By that logic, they have the right to delete you. Well, look, I'm not saying what the cops did was right or wrong. They have film of it, and they will figure that out accordingly. I'm just saying I don't like Tyreek Hill for the shit he's done in the past. There's that. Vandy Dandy says, I'm feeling a lot better about Vanderbilt at Kentucky next month. You know, we could talk about that for a second. Vanderbilt, when you look at their schedule, the way that they've been playing, I mean, I was looking at it. They're huge favorites this weekend. We give Vanderbilt a lot of shit for, you know, I've talked about if they ever do something, I think if they ever do, like if they ever have the thing where they get people out of, we're going to kick you out of the conference because we don't think you care about football. Vanderbilt would be the top one in the SEC that would have to be like, yeah, okay, we'll have to go to the Big East. So, but anyway, looking at Vanderbilt's schedule, they're a 10-point favorite this weekend against Georgia State. Now, don't overlook Georgia State. But I think we're all safe to say that they should win that game. Should have won that game. So that would put Vanderbilt at 3-0 heading into Missouri the week after. Now, it doesn't get any better. Missouri's really good and Alabama's really good. But that October the 12th game with Kentucky, at Kentucky, ooh, man. You want to talk about some buttholes puckering there. If they win that game, they're 4-2. They should beat Ball State. Thank you for that, Peg and Megan. Yeah. You can't say Tennessee. You can't say Georgia State around Tennessee. But if they win that game, they're 4-2. They've got Ball State the week after that. They could be 5-2 before they play Texas, Auburn, and South Carolina. Auburn, I hate to say it, looks like a shithole. I'm not saying they're going to go down there and win, but the team that has been the most impressive this football season to me between those two is Vanderbilt. And I don't know about South Carolina. I'm not going to pick them to beat South Carolina because even when they've had a good team, they've lost to South Carolina. South Carolina has their number. But give it up for Vanderbilt because they've got an outside shot to go 6-6, which for them is like going 10-2. So there's that. Now, the Vanderbilt thing to do would be to go out and lose to Georgia State this weekend. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but hey, who knows? They got votes in the college football playoff poll, didn't they? Or the AP rankings, didn't they? In the latest rankings, I think they did. Let's see here. Vanderbilt. Yeah, Vanderbilt got 18 points or votes or whatever, putting them just ahead of South Carolina. If Vanderbilt wins this weekend, then they may be a ranked Vanderbilt team as they head to Mizzou. Now, here's the interesting thing about that, too. We all talk shit about Mizzou's schedule. Hear me out on this for a second. A Vanderbilt win this weekend. Let's say that Vanderbilt gets ranked next week. All right. Missouri is playing Boston College, who is currently ranked at 24th in the poll. All right. So with that, next week, under the logic of a lot of people here, because ranked wins matter to some folks, even if it's in shitty polls at the shitty part of the season here. All the shit that we talked about Mizzou's schedule, they will have essentially, I think they'll be favored in both games. They'll have 2 ranked opponent wins in their first 4 games. Yep, there's that. Followed by, I don't know where A&M's going to be ranked because I think A&M may lose this weekend. Just saying. It's not going to help though because they got a 3-game stretch after that where they've got A&M, UMass, and Auburn. They're going to UMass. We've talked about that. But anyway, I think it's kind of funny. Mandy Dandy says the AP ranks teams playing a ranked team just to create the top 25 matchups. Well, I don't know. We'll see. All right. Anyway, you guys want to join the program? I'll put the link over there. Here we go. There's the link. If you'd like to join the show, shout out to everybody that's hitting the like button. That's how the show will grow. We'll get some new folks in here. Clemson football kickoff says, how did Alabama not drop off after that showing against USF? Yeah. I mean, you can. Here's the thing, and I guess that's where I'm going with this is that no one gives a shit about these polls. They're just something fun to look at. I think what's funny though is that you will get people that will talk about at the end of the season, well, we played a ranked team here, 2 ranked teams in the first 4 weeks, and they weren't. Here the dog. Welcome to the show.
Yo, can you hear me?
Yes, what you got?
Hey, Jackpot. I just wanted to come in and congratulate South Carolina. I think you guys are going to be good this year. I really like Dylan Stewart. I mentioned that in the chat. I think Dylan Stewart is. I hope he's really good.
Sorry about that. Yeah. Sorry about that. I hit the button there.
No problem. Did you hear
Anyway,
me?
yeah, I did hear you.
Okay.
Jackpot's Gamecocks have looked better than I thought they would.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to get hammered against Kentucky, and I was wrong. Now, I do think that there's a hint of, I don't know, fool's gold in it, in that you're not going to win a whole hell of a lot of games playing offense the way that they do. So they got to figure that out. They got to figure that out. But defensively, they look pretty good. So there you go with that. But yeah, you're right about that, man.
And oh shit, I am tripping. I'm sorry. I'm on the green this morning. I said Jackpot. I'm sorry, man.
That's all right.
Anyways, how do you feel about your Tigers this year, Clemson Tigers, man?
I think they're a work in progress. You know, I mean, there are a lot of Clemson fans that are like, "Oh, the ship has been righted after a win against App State," and I'm like, "No, you got to define what righting the ship means."
Right.
What I mean by that is that look, they have they have NC State, Virginia Tech on the road, who's lost to Vanderbilt, NC State, who got throttled by Tennessee, and Florida State left on the schedule. The rest of the schedule is hot dog water, to be honest with you. So they should roll through that, and their next thing will be in the ACC championship game, where there's an interesting Miami team there with Cam Ward.
Right.
And how will they do it in that game if Miami makes it that far? We shall see, but that'll be their next quote-unquote test, in my opinion. I think the rest of the games, I mean, just on roster alone, they should be favored. Not saying they're going to win them all. I'm just saying they should be favored. So, but the next test will come in that game. And to be honest, against that South Carolina defense, because Stewart lives in the backfield, Klubnik's shown he has happy feet, man. So if he goes out there and screws around, they could get embarrassed in Death Valley again. It's
Hmm.
not that far fetched. So I guess the South Carolina game, in theory, but the ACC championship, and if they win that, the playoff game against whoever it is they're going to get. If I think they'll be the 4 seed from the ACC,
Hmm.
which means that they'll get a first round bye, and then they'll get the winner of the 5-12 matchup. I think that's how that works. I got to
Yes.
look at the bracket, but if they get the 5 seed of who, then let's just throw out there that it might be Ole Miss. They might get thumped. So we'll see.
Last thing, I know it's very early in the season, and we really
Yeah.
can't tell much of anything. But let's say Miami and Clemson do go to the ACC championship against each other. What do you think the odds are of Clemson pulling out the W right now, from what you've seen?
I don't trust crystal balls at all. So I think Clemson has a better coaching staff. So it's hard for me to back Miami that far. I know it sounds silly. I think that Miami has the edge at quarterback and give them that, but I think Clemson's got the edge on the defensive side of the ball. It'll be a hell of a game, but if you add me to pick, I would pick 7 out of 10 for Clemson.
I understand. All right, I appreciate you having me on, Rob.
All right, buddy.
You have a good one.
Appreciate it, man. You have a great day. Look at that. Bear the dog, new to the program here. Isn't that nice? Let's see here. Yeah. Only Dum Peg and Megan would say some shit like that. Only Dum Peg and Megan would say some shit like that. They got, won 2 national titles the head coach has, but their coaching staff sucks. You really are a fucking idiot sometimes, dude. You really are. Trying to troll me like he does Shane Matthews in the morning. I haven't checked in lately, but has his whoever somebody told him stop acknowledging Peg and Megan. Stop it. Nick says, Rob, if Tennessee were to play Ole Miss this weekend, who would you have winning? I think Tennessee takes it. Ooh, that's a hot take there. Is it at Tennessee or is it in Mississippi? That's a good question. Man, I don't know. I think that I like Jackson Dart, man. And Ole Miss has some defense too, but see, we don't know enough, man. The chat over here, Jay says Ole Miss would blow out Tennessee. There you go. One of the best O-line coaches now, most sought after OC, best D-line coaches, 2 of the best secondary coaches. Yeah. Kentucky Blue Ball says Lane Kiffin gets pelted again. Yep. Maybe. I'd probably lean Ole Miss. And I know people think I'm just trolling the Tennessee fans here, but I'm not. I think I'll go with Jackson Dart. Tennessee's going to struggle when they actually play a good team, Kevin says. Maybe. We shall see. That's the best part. Like, people wonder why college football is so beloved around the country because we sit and we talk about these things and we obsess about it all summer. In the end, though, you're going to have a story every year in college football where it's something we didn't see coming. Right now, it's Vanderbilt. Nobody saw Vanderbilt doing this shit. You know? So there's that. But that's why we love college football. I mean, it really is. You don't know what's coming all of the time. You really don't. So there's that. Anyway, don't feed the trolls. Very good. I'm not trying to rip the Tennessee, man. I just think Ole Miss will be better. Hairy Legs there. What's up, buddy? Peg and Megan says it might be South Carolina. Yeah, maybe. Maybe it is. Some teams get better with decent recruiting. Thank you, Billy. I think I know where you're going there. We'll see about that. Anyway, looking back at the schedule this weekend, games I'm looking forward to. Alabama at Wisconsin. Is Alabama going to get off the mat after that shitty showing against South Florida? The LSU South Carolina matchup. Yep, looking forward to that. Memphis and Florida State. The line's jumped to 6.5 now. Interesting, right? So, Memphis, we talk about teams and their Super Bowl. This is kind of the Memphis Super Bowl. Okay? They're, of course, led by former Gamecock Mario Anderson on the ground. 27 carries, 171 yards, 4 touchdowns. 4 touchdowns. And Hennigan, their quarterback's thrown for 3 touchdowns. They're 2-0. They're doing what they're supposed to do as a G5 team here. If they go into Florida State at high noon and beat the Seminoles, oof. There's talk, like, I don't think Norvell's going anywhere, but if they go in and win that game, that puts Florida State at 0-3, right? They play Cal, who just won at Auburn the week after, at SMU, who is not as good as we thought they were going to be, followed by Clemson, and then they go on the road to Duke, at Miami, North Carolina, at Notre Dame, Charleston Southern, the Buccos, and the Florida Gators to wrap up the season. Oof. Clemson football kickoff says if he starts 0-5, he's gone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, if he's 0-5 going into that Clemson game, I don't know if they fire him or not. Fireball says Norvell will get fired if he starts 0-3. What is his contract? Anybody know? Let's see here. Mike Norvell. He had to sign another contract. Let's see here. I know contracts don't matter anymore. They're like bowl games. People just pay to get out of them if they're done with this guy. Hey, hold on. This is from SI. Norvell's contract will jump from $5.5 million in 2023 to $9.875 million in this season. A small raise each year until his base salary reaches $10.835 million during the final year of his contract in 2031. This guy's under contract until 2031. Oh, I'd mock the Seminole, man, but they're not here. Those fools are on the back of the milk carton. Bad. Anyway, so there's that. Vanderbilt comes up with tens of millions to buy out coaches. Other schools can too. Fireball says on his contract, it says if he starts 0-3, he'll be fired without pay. I don't know about all that. I don't think that's funny. But, yeah, I don't think they're starting 0-5. They'll probably win this weekend and then go from there. But their 2 show-me games are Miami and I guess Clemson, Miami, and Notre Dame, maybe. Are we off the Notre Dame train? Maybe so. Maybe so. Yeah. Boy, the storylines for that Clemson that Clemson matchup. We're gonna have to hear that bullshit about Uyunglele and all that. Ugh, I don't want to deal with all that. Not today, sir. Not today. All right, other interesting matchups. The Boston College Mizzou game at 12:45. Mizzou's a heavy favorite. I got Boston College to cover there to get within that 16.5. Oregon and Oregon State, the Civil War, 2-2-0 teams. Oregon's a 16-point favorite. Might be some interest in that one. Kind of a sneaky game here. Tulane at Oklahoma. Oklahoma's a 13.5-point favorite, but Oklahoma's been the shits, in my opinion, even though they are 2-0. They haven't been really great. Notre Dame on the road at Purdue. Will they bounce back? That Texas A&M Florida game, I think people are picking that A&M, but I'm beginning to think maybe A&M isn't that good. Maybe. Yeah, the Apple Cup. Thank you, Harry. Washington State and Washington. Washington's a 4.5-point favorite there with old Will Rogers at quarterback. West Virginia at Pitt, the backyard brawl. West Virginia is now a 2-point favorite. East Carolina, App State. At East Carolina. Jackpot knows somebody up there we could park in their driveway if we want to go watch that game. And let's see here. What else we got? Ole Miss and Wake Forest at Wake Forest. Oof, that's going to be brutal. The Vanderbilt Georgia State matchup at 7 o'clock. The South Carolina game's early. The night schedule. I mean, you've got Georgia and Kentucky. Let's see here. What else do we got? I guess. Oh, the Colorado State game. That's going to be the train wreck. Be happy to watch that later on. Maryland and Virginia, the old ACC matchup there. And then you've got, yeah, that's it. I mean, what a mess. East Carolina is 2-0. Hold on, we'll look at that. That's a good point. Yeah, Old Dominion's 0-2. I know that coaching staff's giving them shit. We should have won at South Carolina. I mean, they're, defensively they played well enough to win. I think East Carolina is 2-0. So let me make sure here. That's a good question. Yeah. So East Carolina is 2-0. They're playing App State. They beat Old Dominion 20-14. They beat Norfolk State 42-3. App State's rolling, by God. Excuse me. East Carolina's rolling. They'll play App State and then they get Liberty. Fireball says we'll beat Kent State as bad as we want to. I didn't say. I was trying to give you credit here, Jackpot. Old Dominion didn't play good defense. South Carolina played shitty offense. So it was nothing that they did, to quote a gentleman on this program. It's nothing they did. So Billy says ECU and ODU are extremely tough teams. Holy shit with all that. Anyway, we're going to pick games tonight. Jackpot and I are. And I'm looking forward to that. As I'm yawning in the middle of the day here. Anyway, Jackpot and I will be picking games tonight. Be sure to tune in for that at 9 o'clock. Virginia Tech beating Old Dominion helps Vanderbilt. Okay. We'll see how that works out. Anyway, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me a little bit here today. 67% rain probability for UT versus Kentucky. I don't think it matters. All right. Well, we'll be back at it tonight. We'll see you guys later on.